Okay, here comes video on Saturday, the 20th of July, 2024. Just gone 6:25 p.m. Chicago time. Do hope you are doing well. So it's the weekend and time for another weekend futures market recap, where I go through 15 of the largest futures markets and I show you what I'm seeing on my charts. Do hope your trading is going well. We've had some decent ranges and some decent days this week. First of all, apologies for no video last weekend. First reason was we had a near assassination of Donald Trump, and so I don't think anybody was particularly interested in listening to a video about the futures market last weekend. But secondly, got myself into a little bit of trouble on a big surf day on this Saturday. We've had a really nice winter with swell coming up the east coast of Australia, and this last weekend was pretty magic. Up here where I am, it was only showing 7 foot and 11 second period, but it was a decent size on the faces, and I managed to get myself concussed and bruised a couple of ribs, which is not good. But anyway, so didn't feel up to doing a video last weekend. I hope you guys understand. Anyway, all good now, and waiting for the next swell to hit coming up this week. Let's talk about some charts. We're going to talk about the Emini charts first. Daily all the way down to the 15-minute and the 13,500 tip-hour chart. And then we'll get into some of the futures markets and show you what's going on there. So this week we had some weakness finally. We've been looking for a little bit of a sell-off, and we got 3 or 4 days, down days on the Emini this week. But on the daily chart, keep on saying I'm waiting for blue professional bars to show me what the professionals think of all of this. And even with this week's activity, we didn't have blue professional bars. We basically sold off because we pushed too high with these Rambo patterns. We'll see this on the next chart, on the 135-minute chart. We're pushing into those highs. It was all amateur activity, and it was just a little bit unstable. So no blue professional bars here yet. Possibly in the next couple of days we might see a blue professional bar pop up on the lows that'll enable us to trail this stop up and show us that we're getting close to an end in this uptrend, but so far nothing, so we just have to take that for what it is. And if we go down to the 135-minute chart, here is what I mean, and put out a chart midweek on Twitter and YouTube just to show that this combination is unstable. So Rambo patterns with an exhaustion buy or exhaustion sell signal on the flip side is an unstable pattern. It just means the amateurs are pushing this higher with pretty high volumes, then the bearish divergence comes in, almost tops this market out, and we have this little sell down here we've had the last 3 days. But what's good is blue professional bars are starting to come in here. The reads on the downside haven't been very high. I like to see mirroring reads in better momentum. So on this sell-off here, we had an exhaustion signal here down at kind of minus 80,000, and then when we topped out up here again, it was about a positive 80,000 here on better momentum. I like to see reads that almost mirror themselves. So the read that we've had on the way down has not even reached negative 60,000 here. So would suggest that we got a little bit of time to run before that momentum signal comes in. But we've got to work that out. In terms of cyclical patterns on the 135-minute chart here, we've got a cyclical cross on the lowest time frame that we might bounce from in the next couple of days. That'll be interesting to see if that comes in. But we have to wait until all these things reverse. Lower time frames, 45-minute chart. Here we go. Here are all the blue professional bars over the last 2 or 3 days. And the background's in blue, which means these are big pro bars, which means it's exceptionally high average trade size for that time frame. And that's why these have popped up. So that's really important. They were not taking profits at the highs. They were buying the dip, the lows here. And actually the momentum signal is plus 32. By the end of the week, which is interesting when the market's still traveling down, but the momentum signal is positive. We've got a divergence there which shows that into that selling they're starting to buy up all of that activity there. In terms of cyclical patterns, do we have anything here on the 45-minute chart to stop us yet? We've got a cross on the intermediate time frame, so we've overshot the support on the lowest time frame here, and that's what gave us our sign of weakness here. So we could be caught by cyclical support on the next highest time frame when these two lines have crossed and we get a move basically above, what will that be, 68.50. It will be a signal that that low might be temporarily in, and we'll have a little bit of a bounce from there. But you can see on the 45-minute chart this was nice for signs of weakness up here at the highs. It's off screen a little bit, but there and there when they come together, that was a nice combined plot. 15-minute chart, here we go. So last week's activity, we had exhaustion by bearish divergence. We had blue professional bars picking up the lows, pushed us up even higher. We had a bearish divergence signal right on the 0 line. So when we get that, say wait until we get the flush pattern a little bit later, and that comes in here with this activity at these highs. then we fall off. So here's the exhaustion sell signal that's mirroring the exhaustion buy signal. At this point we've traveled up, but momentum signals are all positive at the moment, so that divergence is important. But we've not put in a pullback to end of trend on the 15-minute chart here. So here we go, we're below support on the low and in the intermediate time frame. We got to go see pullback to end of trend at least on the lowest time frame there. So I'd look for that before putting in any long trades. We've got to work out that cyclical energy on the way down. Let us look at 13,500 tip bar chart, because these are great for trending moves like this. This is last week's activity. So here we go into those highs, big pro bars, exhaustion buy, blue professional bars, the background's in blue, so extra high average trade size, but the market wasn't ready to roll over at that point. We have a little bit of a sell-off caught by Rambo patterns right here at the lows, and we bounce from there and then into those highs. Right at that high there, blue professional bars step in. We get a sign of weakness at those highs, bang, 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 we're in a downtrend. Confirmed downtrend when the background is in grey, which means that we're below the trailing stop on Beta Pro-Am and the trending system on Beta Sine Wave are both showing us in a downtrend. So here we've got an exhaustion sell signal midway through the move. Blue professional bars come in, stair step the trailing stop down, and we continue down. Rambo patterns into these lows, blue professional bars right at the close on Friday. Not unusual, people squaring out for the weekend, so they don't want to be holding positions there. I would expect another exhaustion pattern or a flush pattern to come in before this is all over. So we've got a trail stop down, which will happen in the first couple of bars of next week here. So we've got everything starting to come together on Beta Pro-Am and better momentum down here to put in a low, but we do need to see something. It'll be another shift down to generate that, maybe a flush pattern, maybe another exhaustion pattern on the way down. In terms of cyclical patterns on Beta Sine Wave, we have put in pullback to end of trend on the lowest time frame. We haven't put it in on the intermediate time frame, so we could get a little bit of a bounce and then showing us a pullback to end of trend on the intermediate time frame before this is all over on the downside. But I don't want to call it early because the background's in grey on the 13,500 tip bar chart. There's no need to rush in early next week to pick this up. We've still got to complete this move on the downside before it starts to rally again. And I'm saying rally again because of this highest time frame. Yep, this is some weakness. We were expecting some weakness, happened for weeks and weeks, but we're still in an uptrend. We've got to see where the professionals step in next on these highest time frames. So there we go. That's the Emini top to bottom. Let us talk about the Forex charts first. We had really good signals all week. So this is the chart I'm most interested in these time frames. 1500 tip bar chart, the Euro futures chart, and change of trend here with blue professional bars at the highs, big pro bars here with the background in blue, and then they sell it off here. Sign of weakness at that point there, and we're in a downtrend on the Euro. So where this goes, we do not know. We've got Rambo patterns. There's quite a lot of these on these markets. You'll see this on these highest time frame Rambo patterns. So we could have a little bit of a technical bounce off there, but it's not over until we see exhaustion sell signals on the downside. And this topping out move took a little bit of time here with these blue professional bars on the way up and then selling it on the way down. British pound, here we go. We got Rambo patterns at the highs, Rambo patterns at the lows. British pound's actually been the strongest of all of these currencies, which is interesting given the political turmoil in the UK. But the big pro bars back down here end of June at 126, held it, and we've gone up to 130 at this point here. But we've got Rambo patterns, so just be conscious of that. And we've travelled quite a long way on the way down, so maybe we'll get a cyclical support come in here on the pound. And we'll bounce from there maybe, but we're in a downtrend, background's in grey, so we don't need to do anything quite yet. Aussie dollar, same thing with this chart here. Exhaustion buy at the end of last week and bearish divergence comes in. Not a whole bunch of blue professional bars at these highs. We've come back down into Rambo patterns at the end of the week here, so we're in a downtrend at the moment, but no blue professional bars kind of picked it up down here at the lows. There wasn't a lot of selling up here. So interesting to see where that level, where the blue professional bars comes back in on the Aussie dollar chart. And Japanese yen. Japanese yen actually had a good couple of weeks for once. Probably intervention by the Japanese central bank, but anyway. Exhaustion sell, blue professional bars come in here, sign of strength. At this point here, we rally into Rambo pattern, so it's weak, and it's not until the blue professional bars come in at the end of that move, up here at almost 65. Sign of weakness, and we're in a downtrend. Exhaustion sell, almost getting this move going at this point here. We're pretty oversold at the moment with these levels, but that's what's happening on Japanese yen. And then 10 years. So last week this was the activity before FOMC. Big pro bars, exhaustion sell, blue professional bars here, so very high average trade size. Of course, the professionals get it right before the announcement, then bang, the rates sold off and the bonds rallied almost instantaneously here. But into these highs, here's more big pro bars. Exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, rolls over, exhaustion sell, getting this move going. So the background's in grey. We're in a downtrend on 10-year notes, so rates don't look like they're going to be coming down soon based on the 10-year bonds. And then gold also sold off. So we talked about the long-term chart a couple of weekends ago on gold, and we did have a nice rally. You can see here all these blue professional bars with the background in blue, so big pro bars coming in here at the lows at 23.40s. We rallied to there, but at these highs, that was the amateurs this week, trying to get up to 2500. Weakened from there, exhaustion sell, getting the move going. But here we go, we've got more blue professional bars coming in here at these lows here. And so maybe we'll get a little bit of a bounce from there. We're oversold in terms of the 750 tip bar chart. We've got pullback to end of trend on the lowest time frame, pullback to end of trend I think on the intermediate time frame down here. Yep. And we've got a potential area to bounce. So it'll be interesting to see if gold gets a little bit of a bounce this week. Silver, what was happening on silver? Oh, here we go. Topped out just under 32 big pro bars up here. Leading into that move, exhaustion buy, bearish divergence. We just run out of steam, another exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, sign of weakness, bang, we sell off. Stair-step trade. There's no blue professional bars in here at the lows. The professionals stepping on the retrace here, sell it down, bang, continues down to almost 29. So that's a nasty move in silver. Still in a downtrend at the moment, but again, pretty oversold, gold and silver at the moment. Bitcoin. Bitcoin's had a nice little run over the last couple of weeks. So here we go. Exhaustion sell, blue professional bars come in at the beginning of last week. Sign of strength. We rally, continue to these highs up to 68,000 at the moment. Rambo patterns into these highs. That's interesting. It might be taking a breather for the time being. I actually had 2 trades in the last week or so in Ethereum, because Ethereum, everybody's talking about an ETF shortly to be released on Ethereum, and so Ethereum's been super active this week. So last weekend continued to break into an uptrend here. Big pro bars at the highs, but note there's no exhaustion buy at these highs up here. These are all exhaustion sell signals actually into these lows here. So even though we had this strength and it looks like topping out pattern, because we haven't had that, in my mind we need exhaustion buy and bearish divergence before the whole thing is over. So I traded into this move here, and I'm long Ethereum at the moment based on the blue professional bars coming in here as well. So I'm expecting that to continue up until we get more exhaustion buy patterns and blue professional bars at the highs. So that's Ethereum. Don't normally show you that chart, but it was interesting this week. Crude. So crude, yeah, it's been a very junky week. Look at this activity at the beginning of the week. No blue professional bars here, no blue professional bars here. Almost impossible to trade this pattern here. On better sine wave, yeah, it looked a little bit more convincing that we were playing off support and resistance levels, but we didn't have any of these levels confirmed with blue professional bars at this point. So that very difficult to trade here. But we get exhaustion buy testing up into 82, exhaustion sell, selling this move down, and then blue professional bars selling it down again. But now down here at 78.5, we've got blue professional bars, big pro bars coming in, the backgrounds in blue, exhaustion sell, bullish divergence coming there. So that is super interesting. In terms of cyclical patterns, we've not maxed out yet. We've not found that bottom, but I'd be looking for that to see if that's an area where we start to catch on crude this week. And then natural gas continues down. I actually had a long trade this week based on this pattern from 216 to 221, which I was super lucky to get out at 221 on my target here, which was a good trade in terms of return. It only looks like, what is that, 5 cents, but because of the margin on natural gas, that's a decent earner. But it continued down at that point. I was thinking this area might hold and we might break into an uptrend here, but it continued to go down to $2. Another blue professional bar sequence here. Big pro bars coming in here, exhaustion buy, getting the move going. And in terms of cyclical patterns, it was an area that possibly could have held, but there we go. we ran into resistance at 21, cyclical resistance on the intermediate time frame, sold off here, and we're putting in this resistance to support on the highest time frame here on natural gas. Then copper, bad week for copper. Here we go, big pro bars, beginning of last week, exhaustion buy, exhaustion sell, getting the move going. We come back under the lip here, bang, keep on going. We break, continue into a downtrend here. So what's that been from $4.70 down to $4.24? Big move all the way, stair step down on copper. And then lastly, the ags, corn. Corn is fussing around here at these lows. Here are these big pro bars that sold it down 2 or 3 weeks ago. And we're trying to find a bottom here, but we've not had many blue professional bars, big pro bars coming at the lows here. So until we see that, I don't think the move will be interesting to trade yet. Soybeans, similar thing. Blue professional bars selling it down, and then they came back up and sold it down again. But again, 2 weeks of a downtrend. Seriously, a strong downtrend move in soybeans here. Some big pro bars coming at the lows at this point here. Exhaustion sell, bullish divergence at this side here. I don't know, probably have to see that type of a signal again before we get confirmation. But this is interesting. We're starting to find a little bit of a bottom down here in soybeans, and if you look at it in terms of cyclical activity, here we go, signs of strength going on here. So something's happening down here at these lows for soybeans. And then wheat. It's actually long wheat as well. I was doing a lot of trading in the last week and a half. What was I? Long wheat at 535 and out at 543. Again, not a big move in terms of the chart, but wheat possibly coming down to test into these lows. Big pro bars coming into the lows here at 528. Exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, flush, little rainbow pattern right at the low there, and we start to rally. This first blush rally is blue professional bars buying that up, and we run out of steam for the time being, so we're just coming back down. But any break back above 556 up to 560 would mean that we've got a confirmed change in trend and an uptrend in wheat. So there we go. I hope this video wasn't too long. Quite a few charts to go through. On the E-mini, let's see if we find a little bit of a low in the next 2 or 3 days. We've got to play this out in terms of getting enough momentum patterns and cyclical patterns in to find a bottom in the E-mini and to have a bounce from there. But I'm not in the camp where I think this is the end of the world and the crash is imminent. I don't think so, just because I keep on talking about these daily charts on the E-mini, and there's no blue professional bars to show us that the professionals were taking profits right at these highs. Anyway, hope your trading is going well, and looking forward to next week's trade.